Good afternoon. My name is Tarantella Comito, and I'm the Director of Education and Outreach for Nevada Ballet Theater, and I'm very pleased to welcome all of you to our pre-performance program, Insights. All of you are in for a very special treat this afternoon. I would like to introduce you to Nevada Ballet Theater's Artistic Director, Mr. Roy Kaiser.
Hi, everybody. Am I on? Okay, we're there. Nice to see all of you. I was given very specific instructions when I walked up here. Gentleman in the back said, "Don't sit on the microphone." I didn't. It's great to be here. Last night I did my first Insights, and I've been hearing such great things about it. I was so happy to be here last night. I'm happy to be here again with you today. And I want to tell you a little bit about the program that you're going to see today. Talk a little bit maybe about some thoughts I have about the future of Nevada Ballet Theater. I'm new. I started becoming involved with the company in October. Moved here full-time the middle of January, and here we are at the beginning of May. So I still feel a little bit new. I love Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I really do, yeah. It's a really, really special place, really special community. I've met so many wonderful people throughout the community, but many, many within the arts world as well that I'm looking forward to working with. And everybody's so welcoming, and everybody's so nice. What's that about? It's Vegas? Everybody in Vegas is nice. Somebody told me it was the sunshine. So maybe that's it. I don't know, but everybody's so nice. So I'm thrilled to be the new director of Nevada Ballet Theater. You know, this is the end of our 46th season today. Yes, the last performance of the 46th season. So there's a wonderful, rich history and legacy to the company, which I admire and respect, but I'm also looking forward very much to taking that and pushing this company into the future. Maybe infusing some new ideas and bringing some new work to the stage. A little bit about today's program. I'm going to sit now. Is that okay? The mic is up. I'm not sitting on the mic. That's good. And the other thing about Las Vegas is you never stop drinking water. Right? I have never drank so much water in my life. I never go anywhere without it. And then I had to find all of these, man moisturizing products, right? Holy cow. Who knew? They didn't tell me that before I took the job. That would be a burden. But anyway, today's program. I did not program the beginnings of this program. It was actually programmed by our executive director and CEO, Beth Barbary, who I admire greatly and who really, I think, did a fantastic job of putting this entire season together during the changeover in artistic leadership. They put the program together. It's entitled Ballet Broadway. That's pretty straightforward, right? And on the surface, you might think, well, we'll have something from Broadway, we'll have something from ballet. But the program has actually worked out to be a wonderful example of how those two worlds have worked side by side and overlapped throughout the history of both. We begin with Christopher Wheeldon's Carousel, a Dance. Yes. You can applaud anytime you want. Yeah. I'm not shy about accepting applause, especially for something I didn't do. But we start with Chris's Carousel, a Dance. Now this is a ballet that was actually done for the New York City Ballet, and I have to check my notes. It was done in 2002, and it was done initially as a one-off performance. It was done for a gala, and the intention was that this ballet was being presented as part of this gala evening, and then it was going to go away. And that was in 2002. And we're in 2018, and that ballet's still around. And it's around in many, many companies throughout the United States and Europe. And New York City Ballet still performs it because it was so successful. This is not a ballet recreation of the musical Carousel. It does use the music, the Rodgers and Hammerstein music, and that's where the inspiration comes. It's inspired also by the musical, the Broadway musical, obviously. But it's a dance. It's a standalone dance, certainly with references to the story. But he's not trying to recreate the story. And what he has created is just a beautiful little gem of a ballet that really utilizes the corps de ballet in a very, very meaningful way. A beautiful central pas de deux for the lead couple. Music that you'll all know and probably be singing along with it. And beautiful, beautiful representation of that music. So that's Carousel. The program's in two parts. The first part has 3 pieces to it. After Carousel, we have a short pause, and then we'll be presenting a ballet that was done for the ballet stage. No reference to Broadway whatsoever. It's a short pas de deux. It's entitled Tarantella pas de deux, created by George Balanchine in 1964, I believe, 1963. And it was created for a couple of dancers that some of you may be familiar with. The male was a gentleman by the name of Edward Villella. Big star, New York City Ballet, and Patricia McBride, another beautiful dancer and big. So yeah, applaud them, applaud them. So this is an example of a work that was done and inspired by the people it was being created for. It was, I think it's a direct reflection of both of their personalities. It's a direct reflection of both of their physical gifts as dancers. And it is about 6 minutes, depending on the conductor and how he decides to conduct this today. But it's about 6 minutes of non-stop fun, pyrotechnics, and entertainment. It's so simple to watch. And the dancers, I added this to the program because we actually put it together for our black and white ball, which we do in January every year. And this year we honored our Woman of the Year was Giada De Laurentiis. And I thought she might enjoy a little Italian Tarantella. And she did, and we put it together for them. And the 2 dancers that are performing it for us are just wonderful in it, and I'm so glad to be bringing it to the main stage. Another short pause, and then we lead into the new work on the program today. It's a world premiere by Matthew Neenan. That's him up there behind me, I think. Yep, that's him, working with the company. And I'll come back and talk about that in a minute. I want to finish up with that. We'll have a short intermission after that, 20 minutes, and then we come back. And the final piece on the program is Slaughter on 10th Avenue. Yes. Now this is Slaughter on 10th Avenue. This has a completely different origination. This was actually choreographed by Mr. Balanchine for a musical on Broadway in the 1930s. The musical was On Your Toes, and Slaughter on 10th Avenue was an insert into the musical. So it was created for the Broadway stage initially. And then in the 1960s, Mr. Balanchine decided he should take this out and put it on the ballet stage at New York City Ballet. And it was a huge success. In the 1960s, it starred Suzanne Farrell and Arthur Mitchell, and you can applaud them. Yes. I mean, just big stars with the New York City Ballet, and it's got a little bit of everything in it. We have a guest artist. You want to know who the guest artist is? Johnny Katz. You know Johnny Katz? No, he's not dead. He's here. He's in the theater. From the Review Journal, the writer. Oh. Yes, the man about town, Johnny Katz. He makes special cameo appearance in the ballet tonight. Our leads are Christina Giardi as the striptease girl. We're getting a little shady now, right? A little off color. And Benjamin Tucker plays her suitor. And he also put some tap shoes on about halfway through. So we're kind of covering the gamut, right? Covering the gamut of what this art form has to offer. It's very entertaining. It's very lighthearted, very colorful and visual, and hopefully and funny. By the way, you're allowed to laugh. Last night, the audience got it, and they were laughing a lot. No pressure. I'm not comparing audiences, but they were really good audience last night. Yeah. No, they were. So anyway, that finishes the program. So we have a ballet inspired by a Broadway musical. We have a ballet inspired for the ballet stage, inspired by the artists that contributed to it. We have an excerpt from a Broadway musical closing out the program. And then, in the middle, the new ballet, which I'm very excited about, is a new work. It's only about 10 or 11 minutes long, but it was created by Matthew Neenan, who is the resident choreographer at Pennsylvania Ballet, which, as many of you may know, is my former home. I've known Matt since, I joke that I've known him since he was about 3 years old. I haven't known him that long, but I think I met him when he was about 17 years old. And he was a young dancer in my company. And I discovered through some projects he was doing outside the company where he was choreographing, I discovered that this young man had real talent. I believe that choreographers are, really good choreographers are born. I don't think you can teach people to really have that creative edge that makes choreography successful. So I believe Matt was born to be a choreographer, and I still believe that. So I started to give him opportunities within the company, and that resulted in him being named resident choreographer of the company in 2007, and it's a position he still holds today. He has gone on to choreograph for many of the major companies around the world, mostly in this country. He is a co-founder of Ballet X, which is a smaller company in Philadelphia that is committed solely to the creation of new work, and he still choreographs with them. And next fall, he just told me next fall he's creating a new work for New York City Ballet for their fall gala. How about that? Yeah. So needless to say, Matt and I go way back. And when I got here in January, and I was looking at the season, and we had this announced world premiere on this program, frankly, it was kind of late to be calling choreographers. You know, they're all booked 2 years out, maybe 3 years out. They're booked far, far, far in advance. So here's a little lesson in serendipity and how things sometimes fall into place. I called Matt, and I said, Matt, I have this spot on the program. It's in, the premiere's May 5th. And I said, before you say no or you're too busy, I said, you know, I only need about 10 minutes to round out this program, but I really want to do something new. I really want to showcase the dancers in this company and something that's created for them. And he says to me, he says, well, you're kind of not going to believe this, but he said, I've been working straight through all season, and I have carved out the 2 weeks before your premiere to be in Las Vegas, because his partner is performing in a show down at the Cosmopolitan. So this was vacation time for him, for Matt. So he said, okay, so I'll vacation and work at the same time. I'd love to do a piece. Isn't that great? It just works out. Oh, it gets better. So we're going back and forth about the piece, and he's listening to music and thinking, oh my gosh, let's see, what do I want to do? It's 10, 12 minutes. It's not a long ballet. I want the right music. And while he's going through that process, I am at a party in town with Donato Cabrera, the music director of the Las Vegas Philharmonic. And he's telling me that the Philharmonic just did a piece by the composer Michael Torke. And what a great experience it was. And he just kind of blurts out that it was really wonderful because Michael was able to be involved in the rehearsals and he was there. And I said, well, what was Michael doing in Las Vegas? And I learned something new. He lives in Las Vegas. How about what? That's what I said. What? So he lives in Las Vegas. And I'm starting to think that just about everybody lives in Las Vegas. I really am. Or everybody has some connection to Las Vegas. So I very subtly sent Matt an email, and I said, Matt, I don't know where you are with your music, and I don't even know if you like Michael Torke's music. Michael is actually very well known throughout the dance world. He has been commissioned to do scores for ballets, for companies, New York City Ballet, National Ballet of Canada, and his existing music has also been used many, many times for ballet. So he has a very close affinity to the ballet world. I said, Matt, I don't know if you even like his music, but just an FYI, Michael lives in Las Vegas. Because I'm all about connections within the community. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to in this position is really tapping the artistic world in this city. There's such a broad depth of talent, and I want to connect the ballet to all of them. That's my goal. So I send that off to Matt, and Matt responds within an hour. He responds and he says, well, you're not going to believe this, but he said, I have a friend in Los Angeles, and a little over a week ago, he sent me a recording by Michael Torke, unsolicited. And he said, it's about 10 or 11 minutes long, and he said, I've been listening to it constantly since I received it. He said, let me think about it for another day or two, but I think I might use it. So sure enough, he used it. And the piece is, it's entitled December. Michael he composed it back in the mid-90s. And we connected with Michael. Michael became very involved in the process. He would come into rehearsals with Matthew, watching the process of how he developed the piece. He worked with the orchestra and with our music director and with our conductor throughout the orchestral rehearsals, and Andy was here last night. So he became a very important voice, I think, in the process. I'll always remember, though, and I think it made Matt feel very good after the first run through of the piece that Michael saw. He went up to Matt and he said, "You made me hear my music in a completely different way." Isn't that nice? Yeah. And Balanchine used to say, that dance should be a reflection of the music, and he was a wonderful musician. So anyway, that was a very nice compliment. So Matthew Neenan, very talented young choreographer. I brought him here to work with the dancers because one of the things that I like about Matt and his approach to the work is it's very, very collaborative. There are some choreographers I think that I know, that really plan out what they're going to do before they will have a ballet cast. They know they want 3 women and 4 men. They know, the height of the people. They know who's going to. They have that all planned out. Matt's approach is a little bit different, and I think, generally speaking, creates a more fruitful product at the end. Matt certainly knows the music inside and out. He understands he knows every note of the music, but he comes into the studio with a fairly open mind, wanting the dancers to inspire the work and the choices he makes in the movement, and wants them to be not equal collaborators, but significant collaborators in that process. So I watched him work. I watched him do he was working on a sequence one afternoon, and he asked the dancers to do one movement and they actually flubbed it up. They didn't do it all what he wanted. And he said, that's better. I like that, that's better. And he kept it in. So he's open to that process of, really finding what works for the individual artists he's working with and weaving that together into a cohesive ballet. How are they doing up there? Oh, they're gone. So, whew. So the result of this project, he choreographed the ballet in a little over a week, and he had another week or so to fine-tune it. It's a 10-minute ensemble piece with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women and 4 men. And it's just a pure reflection of the music. And I think it's wonderful because it really showcases each artist that he chose, each dancer in the piece. Even though it's an ensemble piece, it shows them as individuals. You get to know a little bit about them and their personality, and they each make an equal contribution to the piece. It's pretty special. I said last night to Matt too. I thanked him for doing the piece before he had to leave town. He starts a new ballet in Philadelphia on Monday morning, so he's in the air now as we speak. I thanked him because I'm still getting to know these dancers. I haven't been here that long, and he showed me a different side of every one of them, and it was wonderful for me to witness and see. So that's how the new piece came about. They liked it last night. Yeah, I liked it all along, but they really enjoyed it last night. So my hope is to do a significant amount of new work as we go forward by various choreographers working in the dance world today. I think I see this company, I think, as a company that has a very diverse repertoire. I'm getting cut off. Can you believe they're cutting me off? But I do see it as a company that has a very diverse repertoire, and we will always, honor and perform many of the classics that are available to us and appropriate for this company and the size of the company. Many of the works that are being performed throughout the dance world and ballet world that I think suit the talents of the dancers in this company. But I think that new works are really what will define this company and really create a unique artistic identity for the company, not only in Las Vegas, but hopefully beyond Las Vegas as well. So I hope you enjoy the whole program today, including that. So they just gave me this. That means I have 5 minutes, and they said that you all might have some questions. Can I answer any questions? Yes, sir. I was a dancer. I know you can't tell anymore. But I was. I grew up in musical theater. I became a ballet dancer when I was 17 years old. I spent my entire professional career at Pennsylvania Ballet. I retired in 1992 as a principal dancer with the company. And in 1994, I was appointed interim artistic director while they looked for a real artistic director. And then in 1995, they said, well, you're it. So I was there for 19 seasons as artistic director. I won't even tell you how many years I was working for the company in Philadelphia. And I loved just about every minute of it. I really did. And when I left there, it was time for me to leave. I had been there for a long time. It was the company's 50th anniversary season, and we had a really spectacular season with a national PBS broadcast and some wonderful touring and some new ballets that we brought into the rep. So I left, and I frankly thought that I probably wouldn't direct again. I thought that I would do some projects, and I was doing some projects and teaching. And then I got a call from from Nevada Ballet Theater, and they asked me to come out and talk to them. And I have to introduce this lovely lady here, Nancy Housels. Will you stand up for a minute? This is our founding board chair, Nancy Housels. This company wouldn't be here today without her, and she's one of the main reasons I'm here today. So I'm really happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Come on, keep coming. Go. No. I'm also, since I feel like a talk show host all of a sudden, I'm also going to ask this gentleman here, Michael Scolamero, to stand up. I know, he's rolling his eyes. Michael is the executive director of Ballet West, but, oh no, don't applaud that yet. More importantly, he put up with me in Philadelphia. He was the executive director in Philadelphia for 17 years. We worked together. Right there. And I can't get away from him. I moved to the West Coast. He moves to Salt Lake City. He just keeps, You moved first. Okay, you did move first. I think I took this job first, though. Anyway, any other questions before we head over? Yes? My favorite dance role, I don't know if you will know my favorite dance role. I had many that I really liked. I used to say my favorite dance role was the one I was working on at that moment. That's not totally true, but it sounded good in the press. My favorite dance role was a small chamber piece that was choreographed by a modern choreographer by the name of José Limón. I don't know if you're familiar with his work. He worked back in the 30s and 40s and 50s in New York, and it was the Moors Pavane, and it was a small chamber group, a small chamber ballet with the 4 main characters. And the reason I liked it so much was that I got to play Iago. I got to be the bad guy. And the directors didn't let me be the bad guy very often. I'm not quite sure why. So I enjoyed that a lot. That's probably my favorite. And it also incorporated a lot of acting along with the choreography, and I loved that challenge. No, you don't want a sample of my dancing. I will tell you, you are going to see some fantastic dancing on this stage today. I'm going to leave it to those professionals. I don't want to ruin it for you. Anybody else before we head over? I will be, yes.
Just out of curiosity, are you also a singer?
No. I have really? No, you have never heard me sing. You would not want to hear me sing. No, it's pretty bad. Anyway, thank you all for being here today. I hope you enjoy the performance. I'll see you all soon.